I just thought I'd put together a quick little video about blogging and search engine marketing and just online marketing in general. I'm certainly looking to get better results from what we're doing online, and one of the things that's really important these days is getting a blog and knowing how to effectively use it. So I've got James Corby here from Oracle Digital, his local digital marketing company, and known James for quite a while, and thought, well, let's just grill James on the subject, and rather than me just have a chat with him in the boardroom, we'd have a chat publicly. You guys can watch it and you get value out of it too. So thanks for coming, James.
Thanks, Josh.
So we're going to start off, you've got some points here we want to get through. Do I have a blog and will it cut the mustard?
Probably one of the most important things to consider moving forward with search marketing, Josh, is the importance of managing a content strategy on your website has become absolutely vital. It's not an option anymore. It's something that has to be done.
If we just stop for a second, when I know exactly what you mean, but when you're talking about a content strategy, a lot of people I know watching this are probably thinking, well, I've got my website set up, I've put all the content in it years ago, months ago. What we're talking about is actually regularly updating your website with fresh content, information that's relevant for your readers. And it's not about your business, it's just generally relevant to your product, your service. So just thought I'd go into that. So yeah, keep going.
A couple of things to consider is, do you have a blog on your website? If you don't, you need to get one. I know in your situation, Josh, moving forward, your website's built on WordPress.
Yep.
So that's fine, because WordPress as a content management system that houses the code of your website is user-friendly and it does support blogs. Some people don't actually have a traditional blog page. What's important on a blog is that every time you make a post, you may have a latest news section on your website. Every time you make a post to your website, it needs to generate a unique page of its own. So your latest news section should be displayed as a page. Further to that, every time you make a blog post or you post an article to your website, it can show in short form one below the other, but it needs to generate a unique page.
Yeah.
So it's very important that the architecture of your website is positioned and set up appropriately to have maximum benefit in the search engines.
Yeah. So the way it's set up for myself, it's easy because it's WordPress, it's blogging, it's ready to go. For other people that have maybe got a custom CMS or just a website that was designed ages ago, they don't have a blog, is it better for them to talk to their web company and say, hey, look, guys, I want to put a blog on this, and just add it as another page? Or what would you give advice to someone in that position?
Yeah, look, that's another interesting point. We still come across clients nowadays, or people that are a little misguided on how to actually set up a blog. The ideal situation is to come to companies like us or your existing web development company and tell them that you want to set up a blog on your website if it's not already there. But some people still use other Web 2.0 properties like WordPress and Blogger.
Yeah, there's free ones out there you can get access to.
There's a whole host of free blogging platforms, and people tend to create their blog on a domain that's outside of their existing website. That's a much deeper strategy. It was something that was employed several years ago and can be used to great effect. Typically, you want to engage companies like us to execute a strategy like that. Moving forward, search marketing, you need to have your content published on your domain. If your domain name is bobthebuilder.com.au, you want /blog.
Yeah.
You don't want to be in a situation where somebody hits blog or latest news on your website and it shows up in the URL bobthebuilder.blogger.com.
Yeah, yeah.
That is an effective strategy, but it's more of an advanced strategy, not something that we'd really want to discuss today. It's something that would be for a further discussion.
And if any of this stuff is maybe flying over your head a little bit, that's cool, because we've actually got comments underneath on this blog post. So I know I'll be keeping in touch, and if you've got any questions, I know James will be watching as well, and there's a lot of people around the community that'll be able to help you. So don't be afraid to ask any questions. But moving on, so what are the benefits of blogging for business owners that interested in doing it?
Well, look, everybody's got their opinions on this, but at Oracle, and this for a while, Josh, we've promoted what we call the golden triangle strategy. There's three benefits that blogging for your business has. A, it builds authority, and I'll reference the importance of that in a minute. B, it absolutely rocket fuels your SEO, so it's absolutely important for your search engine rankings that you are blogging. And it also gives a nice balance of authority to your social media presence. If you're managing your social media account and engaging your customers and you're trying to be social with them, a few blog posts a week that you get to syndicate through your social media networks is a nice balance of authority and positioning your brand and what your company represents in the market.
And adding value.
Outside of trying to be nice and light and fluffy.
Yeah, cool. So, all right, so people have gone, cool, I know I need a blog, I can get that set up, I'm ready to go. So how does one write effectively for the blog? What's the process?
Look, probably the most important thing, Josh, is write for your potential customers. Pick topical issues that are relevant to your business. If there's a movement in your industry, for example, for you, Josh, if, for example, there was a new piece of technology that was developed that delivered just the most electrifying video on the market, and that was cutting edge, and you've employed that new piece of technology, write about it immediately. If news breaks in your industry, come back and talk about it instantaneously. The quicker you respond, the more authority and respect you get from the search engines. So write for your customers, and don't be scared to step outside the box a little bit as well. You know, write about things that are happening inside your business. Create a relationship, like video marketing, Josh. If you write, or somebody else is writing for you, for that matter, don't be scared to tell them what's happening inside your business. You're expanding into a new marketplace, or you've got new products on the market. You don't always have to talk about just things that are relevant to your industry per se. Talk about your business, because it builds a relationship with your customers.
So I think the key is with, we're talking about like a content marketing strategy, how to get that stuff up. It's I know what I need to write about, and there's news, and there's things that are happening within the company, there's industry news. So would you say it'd be useful for people to set out a bit of a plan and say, well, in the next month, in the next week, this is what I'm going to do. As a minimum, I'll write 2 articles a week.
Absolutely.
And what type of length are those articles? What's the best? Should everyone have links to other websites? What's the way to do it?
Okay. Ideally speaking, if you're a local small business in Perth, you want to be aiming for between two to 3 times a week. If you can only do it once,
so 2.6 would be good.
Yes. No, look, 2 really, Josh. 2. You probably want to maintain between 300 and 400 words in your blog post. I know that sounds a lot, but believe it or not, you're the expert in your business. If you understand what you're writing about, or you understand how to brief somebody else on what they're going to write for you, it's very, very quick to get to. It doesn't take long at all to get to 400 words. And
I know the people watching this, you're probably thinking, well, I don't have time to sit down and write an article, but if I called you up and I was a prospective client and said, hey, Bob the Builder, what are the biggest problems that I could face if I do this wrong? You'd be able to go straight into a spiel for whether it's 1 minute or 10 minutes. You've got all this information there. It's just finding out how to suck it out of your head and put it onto paper, onto your website, and
very interesting point, because most of our clients that engage us and we talk to them about their blogging strategy, they put their hands up like, this is a really, really strange concept. The information is there in your mind. It's just putting a different cap on and looking at your business from the outside in, as in you're the authority and somebody's extracting that out of you. So it's just and then look, there is services, you can
outsource it.
Exactly. We offer blog management services where we ask for limited input from the client, which is just topics and basic information they want in there. We go away and research it. So there is options available to business owners,
Yeah, definitely. So we've also got here, you mentioned don't write for the search engines, write for the reader, not for the search engines. And I don't know about you, but there's so many different myths and things that I've heard in the past, like you should mention, like I want to be found for, it's Bob the Builder, it's Perth Building Company. If I write Perth Building Company 10 times in an article, it might be good for the search engines, but for James here who's looking at a builder, he's going to read that and go, that doesn't make sense. This isn't speaking to me, my language. So
absolutely. Look, there's been a lot of movements in the search marketing industry, particularly SEO. And one of the biggest things that Google in particular has cracked down on is people using language, sentences, phrases, and key phrases strung together that's specifically targeted towards ranking your website for a certain search term. A great analogy of Google is like a child growing up. Google's a relatively young company, super intelligent, and their technology's always evolving.
Yeah.
They're sort of at the adolescent stage now where they're starting to get a lot more intelligent about the way they process the data that you send them.
Yeah.
And they use a methodology called latent semantic indexing. And what that is, instead, it's very technical, but an obvious analogy is if you're video marketing Perth, latent semantic indexing means that words you use in your article relevant to that search term you're trying to rank for are also perceived to be just as credible in the eyes of the search engines. Right. That might be video cameras, that might be script writing. So write for your customers. Forget keywords. It's always good to try and embed in the title of your article the keywords that that you've been recommended you should rank for. Always good to put that in the title. Don't be too concerned about stuffing an abundance of the words you want to rank for in your article content. It'll seriously backfire for you. Yeah,
and we've got some more points here. James has just kind of done a bit of a running sheet to make sure we get all the juicy information for you. But upload an image and name it correctly and place an alt tag on it. What does that mean?
Okay, you want to put images. Two reasons. It's more appealing to your customer. If you throw an image in there that's descriptive of the article that you've written, it might be the product, it might be a humorous image. Very important. If you take a picture, your digital camera is going to name your image img.002. The unfortunate thing about that, the search engines read the name of your image when it's uploaded into your website. So if it's Video Marketing Perth as a hypothetical example that Josh has written an article on, Josh is going to name his image, regardless of what it looks like, Video Marketing Perth. During the upload process through your content management system, if you're on WordPress or some of the more advanced content management systems for SEO, you'll get the opportunity to embed, when you upload that image, what's called an alternative text or what we call an alt text. That's a quick snapshot when the search engines come by and the spiders are having a read of your code. They recognise the image. When you place an alt tag in the code when you upload that image, it gives Google a quick snapshot of what that image is. And those images will actually rank in the search engines. So a lot of business owners would know when they're searching for something online, particularly products and services, shoes, women's clothing, there's a whole host of things. When you type something in, you click images. This is about image optimization, and you can use your blog to optimize images as well, so your website gets found through your images.
Excellent. And what about, we've got here the internal linking between pages. How does that work? You know, like, obviously you write an article, let's say 300 to 400 words about how to choose a good builder in Perth, and you've got a nice photo there of a house under construction, and within that article, those 300 to 400 words, you can obviously link to other blog posts or other pages, or even link to Perth Now or the Sunday Times or other websites. So should you be doing that? How do you do it? What's the best practice for that?
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody would be familiar. Even if you go to any of the major news sources or anywhere for that matter, and you're reading an article, you'll see certain words that are highlighted in different colours, and they link you off to other places. Talking about the evolution of Google as a search engine, it's extremely important now that you try and keep people on your website as long as possible. So in Josh's case, when he writes an article about Video Marketing Perth, somewhere in that article, he may be discussing, let's say, for example, podcasting, which is extremely relevant to that article. If you link that word podcasting off to another article or another authority site, never link to a competitor. It's very easy to do it by mistake. I've done it before and still slip up on occasions. Never link to competitors or weak websites that don't rank well, because Google won't appreciate that. Link off to your Wikipedias, your major news sources, websites of authority, even Google itself if you have to. More importantly, if you're linking within your website, link words off to blog posts and pages within your website that's relevant to that article, because people will click around. It creates worms for not only the search engines to move around and identify what your content's about, but it also helps to engage a user when they come and work their way around the website and see that you're a genuine authority in your business. You know? And Google really appreciates that.
One thing we haven't actually talked about, but I've seen, when you're writing an article, it's very easy to, we'll go back to Bob the Builder, to write, these are the challenges of choosing a great builder in Perth. Then you give all this great information, and then you've got a choice. You can either give great information and leave it at that, or you can say, this is why you should choose me, and I'm really good, and this is what we're about. So how do you think the self-promotion comes in? Because I've heard people talk about, obviously if there's a great article with great information without that call to action, it's a lot easier for people to share it. It's a lot easier for it to be more social friendly. So I guess there's a benefit. How do you weigh it up? What's your thoughts on it?
Absolutely. There's two slants on this. If you're writing something for authority, don't necessarily preach your services. Be proud to beat your chest and say, just as you said, myself or my company is the expert in this industry. This is our opinion and this is why we believe it's right. The flip side to the coin is if you're writing about an innovative product that you've just launched or something that's specifically more targeted towards a sales-driven message than an authority-building message, then stick a plug in there. What some people do to counteract it, instead of preaching about themselves in the article, so people are encouraged to share it, on their website, they'll build into their style sheets a little call to action, call us now, which might be an image, that by default, when you post a blog post, it'll automatically appear there. So it's a small upsell, but it's not an upsell you actually have to present in the written content of the article that you've just written.
Yeah, cool. I know we're covering some quite in-depth stuff here, so I know there's a lot of people watching this that are like, great, this is awesome. Some of you said probably flying over your head a little bit. You're probably switched off 5 minutes ago. But anyway, I'm enjoying it. It's good to be able to share it. So, all right, so you've written the article. We've got the perfect article with the keywords in the title and links and images, and now I've just hit publish. It's on the blog. Is that it? Where do we go from there?
No, absolutely not. Probably some of the biggest benefits. Not so much now, probably in the early days of Oracle Digital, probably 1 in 4, we engage social media very quickly. Probably 1 in 4 of our acquisitions of new clients came from social media, namely, most importantly, Facebook. So it's very important when you hit that publish button that you take that link to that blog post and you go and share it through your social media networks. Post it to your Facebook, post it on Twitter. If you're active on LinkedIn, go put it on LinkedIn. Manage your blog on LinkedIn, where you're tapping into people at a social level that are engaging your brand. Highly important. You don't have to do it manually. There
you can automate
it. There's some automated systems that you can use out there that you just download to your system, or your web developer can help you to install, like Hootsuite, or there's a whole range of them. Where when you actually hit the publish button on your blog, it can automatically go through your social networks and your social profile. So, but vitally important. And look, secondly, and it's not something that we want to tap into here, Josh, but there is a world of opportunity with article marketing beyond just publishing on your blog and going to social media. You can go to press release sites. Depending on the quality, the length of the article and what it is you're discussing, there's also extremely intense syndication methods that you can apply to every single blog post to achieve a world of backlinks to your website. Like I said, press release websites, other Web 2.0 properties, other blogging websites, news feeds, RSS streams. There's a world of other opportunities, but now's not the time to discuss that.
Opening a can of worms.
But that's more just my passion and excitement, and the emphasis on how important blogging is. It's not an if now; it's you have to for your business. And our clients that are engaging an effective blogging strategy are far exceeding their own expectations and results in the search engines above and beyond our clients that either don't have the website like the architecture to support a blog, or they're not proactively engaging it or engaging us to do it,
Yeah.
huge difference in search engine rankings.
Yeah.
Can't emphasise it more.
Cool. Well, yeah, I think we're just going to wrap things up. But I saw a great quote of someone was saying that, you know, how can you expect people to go to your website all the time if you're never there yourself? So think about what you can do. Spend a little bit more time on you putting stuff on the site. Update blogs, put videos, put something of value for your target market. And yeah, like to thank James.
Thanks, Josh.
Just sucking all that knowledge out of his brain and putting it on video. So yeah, thanks for watching.